समझ नहीं आ रहा अपने सैलरी इंक्रीमेंट का क्या करूं।
बेटा इतना क्या सोच रहा है, अपने म्यूचुअल फंड्स के एसआईपी का टॉपअप करा ले। दिस इज द राइट टाइम।
क्या समझ में नहीं आया।
बेटा इतना क्या सोच रहा है, अपने म्यूचुअल फंड्स का एसआईपी टॉपअप करा ले। दिस इज द राइट टाइम।
अब समझा।
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme related documents carefully.
Let me start with a reminder to you to renew your monthly subscription to ThePrint. And if you have not subscribed yet, please do to sustain our journalism. You can see how to do it on the screen. Links have been provided in the description. Now let's come to this episode of Politically Correct. The BJP has dug itself into a hole with the caste census announcement. Or let's say, it was so frustrated with Rahul Gandhi's inability to put up a decent fight that the party has decided to create a real opposition against itself. Caste census has the potential to grievously damage brand Modi and disqualify some of his putative successors from the race. If things get worse, it may result in a sort of Samudra Manthan or churning of the ocean of milk that will produce only halahal, not amrit, poison, not nectar, and leave devas and asuras of Indian politics in a quandary. But before I come to that, let me touch briefly on the reasons cited by the Narendra Modi-led government spin masters to justify the U-turn on caste census. Talking about the U-turn, the government had told the Parliament and also the Supreme Court in 2021 about its decision not to hold caste census. What they say on the record today is therefore plain sophistry. They might be committed to social justice, but they were not a votary of this census. It's not in keeping with Prime Minister Modi's four caste postulation: the poor, youth, women and farmers. He has also previously described the census as a reflection of urban Naxal mindset and a pap or sin that the BJP decided to go slow with its expansive politico-social engineering agenda was evident from the way it was trying to wriggle out of its promised subcategorization of the OBCs. The government gave 13 extensions to Rohini Commission, which was originally supposed to submit its report in 12 weeks. It ended up taking almost 6 years, finally submitting its report to the President in August 2023. It has been gathering dust in the Rashtrapati Bhavan since then. No word coming from the government about that report. What the BJP's and the government spin doctors say today, off the record, is equally fantastic, as if convinced of our credulity bordering on stupidity. One of them is that the party wanted to snatch Rahul Gandhi's main poll plank. Really? What made the BJP so nervous about the caste census suddenly? A series of poll victories in one state after another? Obviously not. There is no electoral evidence to suggest that the Gandhi's caste census demand was getting any public traction. Another reason cited by the spin doctors is the Bihar Assembly election. It's fallacious too. Such a big decision is not taken in view of just one assembly election. That too in a state where the NDA is handsomely placed by all accounts. Besides, in Bihar, politics has been centered on caste quota for so long, starting way back with Karpuri Thakur government's layered reservation system in 1978 and continuing to date. The Nitish Kumar government has followed up its caste survey by increasing quota to 65%, which is stuck in the Supreme Court. The centre's caste census announcement can't really be an emotive issue in Bihar. That brings us to the opposition party's stance that the caste census is a diversionary tactic. Seen together with their jibes at the government for its inaction after the Pahalgam terror attack, opposition leaders seem to be drooling at the prospect of the Modi government not avenging the killing of Hindu tourists. They are jumping the gun way too soon. There is no way that PM Modi will not respond. He knows better than anyone else that inaction would mean the liquidation of brand Modi. He is in no hurry. The Bihar election is 6 months away. Essentially, we don't know what made Modi Shah take the U-turn on caste census. What we know is that this gambit can potentially have complex and unpredictable consequences that the ruling party might not have accounted for. I can count 3 at least. First, the OBCs, the SCs or the STs swung toward Modi as aspirational classes, not as caste or tribal blocks. They actually came as the 4 castes PM Modi mentioned: the poor, youth, women and farmers. In fact, he could have added a 5th one, the middle class. He showed them all dreams of a better life, a better future for their children in a better India. As beneficiaries of his government's welfare schemes and programs and as stakeholders in his vision for India, they formed a class of their own. They would have voted for Modi even if he was a Thakur, a Brahmin or a Bhumihar. The BJP's caste census gambit has come as a rude reminder that Modi, like the old traditional politicians, also sees them as mere caste groups and wants to play the same identity politics as others have all these years and decades. Caste census blows away the fundamentals of brand Modi. Second, caste is a very touchy issue involving all sorts of pride and prejudice, which more often than not don't square with sense and sensibility. The census will tell caste groups where they stand numerically and so politically, economically, educationally and socially. How will they react when the official figures are out? It's like opening Pandora's box. And however much the BJP wishes, brand Modi will not be able to absorb the blow. Those who find themselves at the bottom in the caste census may rise up and demand immediate redressal. The government would find itself on a slippery slope. Trust Rahul Gandhi and co. to up the ante and push for the removal of the 50% reservation cap. With the officially acknowledged have-nots up in arms, the Modi government would have to agree, wishing that the judiciary would come to its rescue. Okay, fine, but what after the quota ceiling? It won't be enough to address the grievances of those whose long lingering sense of being dispossessed in the current setup would be officially certified. Well, probably reservation in the private sector. Then what? Budgetary allocation for individual castes and subcastes? Redistribution of wealth? Well, the Modi government will surely be on a slippery slope after the census is out. The third consequence of the caste census is, however, something the current BJP leadership might have factored in. That is, change in the eligibility criteria for PM Modi's successor. Just think of the likely scenario. Toward the end of PM Modi's 3rd term, when the caste census would have triggered a huge political maelstrom, with different backward classes demanding a share in the socio-political and economic power structure, who would be in the reckoning for an OBC PM's successor? Not a Brahmin or a Thakur for sure. That would make things so difficult for Yogi Adityanath, a Thakur, and 2 other putative contenders who are Brahmins, Devendra Fadnavis and Nitin Gadkari. Assam CM Himanta Biswa Sarma, though not seen as a strong contender as yet, is also a Brahmin. The caste census and its likely fallout would change the eligibility criteria for the frontrunners in the succession race. An upper caste leader would struggle to keep their place in the race for sure. That would leave 2 other top contenders in the list: Home Minister Amit Shah, a Baniya, and former Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister and now Union Agriculture Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan, an OBC leader. Chauhan has a great CV as an OBC leader with a mass base in Madhya Pradesh and a good following outside his state too. Shah is not an OBC leader, but a Baniya can always be an acceptable face in an OBC versus upper caste political discourse, which we will see unfolding once the census is out. What goes in Amit Shah's favor is his hold over the BJP organization and the fact that all chief ministers, MPs and MLAs in the states owe it to him. I mean, he has given them the tickets. He has handpicked them all. That's a huge advantage in politically volatile times. It's inexplicable why the BJP should decide to be a disruptor by bringing the caste census when it's so comfortably placed as the dominant party in India. If opposition leaders like Rahul Gandhi play such disruptive politics, it's understandable. They are desperate to break the BJP's dominance of the political landscape. But why the BJP? It's difficult to answer when one looks at the large picture. But in the context of PM Modi's succession race, it does not look so mindless and thoughtless after all. Just remember, VP Singh's decision to implement the Mandal Commission report was primarily driven by his political objective to checkmate Devilal. That's all from me in this episode of Politically Correct. Thanks for watching.